Okay, now we're going to learn about adding fractions. Now, when you add fractions, what you need to do is you need to look at the pieces of our whole and putting them together. So first thing we do is we check to see if we have common denominators. If we do, that makes it incredibly easier. Now the denominator is the number on the bottom of our fraction. That's how many pieces our whole is broken up into in all. So 2/4, the 2 are red, and the fourths, because there's 4 pieces altogether, equal pieces too. And 1/4, the 1 is red in our numerator, and the bottom number of denominator, that's how many there are altogether. Now in this case, 2/4 and 1/4 are the same denominator. So then we can add the numerators. We just add. Now let's think, if I have these 2 pieces here and I want to add one more, it's going to look like this. Okay, I'm going to put one more of these pieces down here. And I can see that that makes it 3 in my numerator over 4 altogether. And that's my answer, 3/4. Now it's not always going to work out that easily. So let's look at another example where we have to find a common denominator. They say this one says 2/4, which is what we had before, plus 1/8. Now 4 and 8, they're not the same. That's what common denominators mean, that the denominator has to be the same. Now I have to look at how can I find common denominators. There's 2 ways I can do it. Now the first one kind of makes it easier. I look at my denominators and I look at the larger one and I see if it's a multiple of the smaller one. So 8 is a multiple of 4. And the way I can turn 4 into 8 is I multiply it by 2. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2. I multiply the top by 2, and that's 4. The bottom by 2, that's 8. And the other one I keep the same because I'm not having to change anything on that. So I have my pictures, 2/4 and 1/8. Well, guess what? I want to make my pictures equal my new fraction. So I'm going to get rid of that one and get rid of that one. Okay, so I have 4/8, and as you see, it's the same shape as it was before. Okay, it's the same as 2/4. I've just broken it into further pieces. And 1/8 right here. Okay, and I add my numerators again and get 5/8. So if I take my 4/8 and add one more to it, I have 5/8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more makes 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my denominator, 8, is how many I broke the whole piece into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, sometimes I'm going to have to find common denominators when one of them isn't a multiple of the other. So let me show you one of those. Now I have arrows already in here because I have 2/3 plus 1/5. I'm not even going to use pictures on this one so much. The reason why I have these arrows in place is because I look at my larger denominator, 5, and 3 is not a multiple of 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply each fraction, the numerator and denominator, by the denominator of the other fraction. So in my 2/3, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5. 5 times 2 and 5 times 3. And what I get is 10/15. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. Great. Now with my red arrows, I'm going to multiply 1/5 by the denominator of the other fraction, in this case 3. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. Okay. So then I just add the numerators. Now my denominator is going to stay the same. 10 fifteenths plus 3 fifteenths equals 13 fifteenths. Now sometimes you'll get to one of these numbers and you'll have to simplify, but 13 is a prime number, so we can't simplify this. Okay. So remember the three different types of ways we added fractions. The first one, when the denominator is already the same and we just add the numerator. The second one, 2/4 and 1/8, when this larger numerator 8 is a multiple of 4, and I can just multiply this fraction by 2, so my denominator equals 8, so I have the same denominator. Or the last one, when my two denominators, one is not a multiple of the other, and I have to multiply each fraction by the denominator of the other fraction.